Okay, is that checking that everything is on? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is Kyle, and I am going to be casting a match here. This is a replay that I found from r/Dota2 Cast It subreddit for interesting replays from Dota 2, and this one was particularly interesting. I believe it was advertised as a 1.5k MMR with multiple throws and a quote-unquote beautiful ending. So I'm gonna check this out, start up the replay. So this is actually the first replay that I am casting that I'm actually going to upload or put anywhere or show with anyone. I've been sort of practicing with some replays and live pubs on my own so far, but I decided that now would be a good time to try and put these up and get some actual comments and feedback from others. So that will be the point of this. So enough of my shameless self-promotion. Going into the game here on the Radiant side, go through the lineups real quick. It'll be Hardline playing the Terrorblade here, along with ZD on a support Rubik. That is Russian in the chat, which I don't speak, so I have no idea what that says. So I'm gonna ignore it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's even more Russian coming out of Februaro. You know, with all the Russian going on, I'm starting to get the feeling that this might actually be a match from Russian servers. Probably something I should have checked, but you know, they're probably just having a nice, friendly chat. Speaking of friendly chats, looks like there's going to be a little bit of action in the river here. 10 seconds before the rune is spawning, and both sides here kind of going hard for this. There's a bit of a fight. Legion actually put that first point up into the moment of courage there, so doesn't really do her too many favors, and they lose the fight for that top rune. Terrorblade picks it up. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage for the Dire takes the bottom rune pretty much uncontested here. And I've actually just noticed the Dire don't have a courier. Huh. Well, they also don't have any supports, so I suppose that kind of makes sense. So yeah, I suppose the 1.5k MMR was truthful in its description. Anyway, I didn't go through the rest of the lines because of that fight that broke out, and oops. Let's go here. So finishing out that lineup for the Radiant, as more Russians being put in the chat. Los Yara will be playing the Bounty Hunter here, roaming around in the jungle. Will he actually place down this observer to try and block off the camp? Doesn't look like it just yet. And he's just going to walk himself away. And to round out the lineup, I keep getting distracted. I apologize. Is a name that I can't pronounce because, as I mentioned earlier, I don't speak Russian. So this character will be referred to as Alchemist for the entirety of the game. Meanwhile, on the Dire side, we have a similar situation with the Tiny being played out by a Russian guy whose name I can't pronounce. He is in lane with Wolf on the AM, so an AM Tiny lane. Very interesting. The mid lane will be Phantom Squad, a name in English. Oh my god, I can read it. Phantom Squad will be playing the Invoker. He's actually going to put some hits into the DK here. And you can see right now he has not a big advantage here. DK actually forced to use up most of his regen. So the Invoker should probably pull ahead in terms of last hits as this lane goes on. And rounding out the lineup, another Russian player. Legion Commander here, starting out with that Iron Talon, although the Jungle Legion hindered a bit by the fact that, again, as I may have mentioned, the Dire don't have a courier, so there will be no items coming to the Legion. The Legion's also sort of unknowingly sharing farm with Los Yara here, just following her around, being a general nuisance. And of course, the last player in the lineup for the Dire, another Russian player playing the Morphling. And it's only 2.5 minutes into the game, and I finally finished going through all of the people on the teams. Speaking of which, there's going to be the toss onto the Alchemist in the bottom lane, but Wolf is actually, holy crap, he took way too much damage from that tower, as well as from the Acid Spray, only level 1, so does manage to get himself out, but probably not appreciating that impromptu and non-consensual initiation there. Very lucky to get out with his life. And of course, none of these players are going to be able to get any boots. The Tiny even has a bottle, but he can't crow it because, again, I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself here, but the Dire don't have a courier. Strangely enough, and that's even going to prompt Wolf to TP himself back to base. Will he buy a courier? He will. What a player. What a team player, buying up that courier. Oh, but it has no skin. Jesus, people, come on. Come on. This is a travesty. Jesus. Couriers. Base couriers. For shame. Anyway. Aside from ridiculing that player for their lack of items, Legion Commander still farming up this jungle, 860, now closer to 900 gold, so she will be able to buy up, I mean, her boots, I suppose. I mean, the progression here is just, I don't really know what you do at this point, because normally you already have your items. Meanwhile, back in bottom lane, Alchemist taking so many hits. The Tiny's actually going in for this, and yeah, that's a mistake. That is a mistake. Unfortunately, the kill just doesn't go to a hero, gets split amongst the entire team, but the Alch lives, so I suppose that's your silver lining. Meanwhile, Luciara is actually going to snag that bounty rune here as Phantom Squad comes up looking for it, and Luciara just kind of staring him down there. Not 100% sure what that was about. Just wanted to let him know that he was there and that he stole the bounty. So, as this game's progressing, we see the TP top. Tiny's actually decided to leave Wolf alone in the bottom lane, and now he's going to go and hang out with Morphling. So we'll see what he can do here. He does have 2 points into the Avalanche. The Avalanche Toss combo is available, but we'll see if it works. Going to go on to Terrorblade, and the waveform was actually, came up way short. So Hardline just going to be able to walk himself away here. And, uh-oh. Luciara, he's found himself a courier kill. So they go about 2 minutes without a courier. AM finally buys one, and then it gets killed. And Hardline went back in, dropped the mirror onto him, but not too much damage to follow it up, and the Avalanche does allow them to disengage successfully. But here we can see they're sort of fighting for farm a little bit, which I suppose is to be expected. I don't want to be one of those guys who just shits all over lower skill players, but this is one of those things that's kind of nobody picks a support and everybody's fighting for farm sort of situations. But I was well, not necessarily promised, but it was implied that this was a very entertaining game, and so I'm going to stand by the not really promises of some guy on Reddit. Meanwhile, lift up from ZD, Hardline trying to lay damage into it. The morph coming out from the Morphling. Strength morph was not enough, and ZD draws first blood. And Morphling goes down. Tiny unable to save him with that Avalanche. So, there's your first kill here. Regen rune going to Bounty Hunter. There's going to be... Has that been the same ward? No, it hasn't. Okay, thank God. I thought that was the same ward that he had started the game with. That would have been pretty disappointing. Luciara actually going to come in and steals a last hit and walks away. So, this Bounty Hunter... being fairly annoying, which I suppose is, you know, in the job description of a bounty. Just generally harassing everybody, although he has left Legion Commander to the farm here. And what in the world is this? What is going on here? It's an Iron Talon and a Claymore. What a build out of this Legion Commander. Still no boots, you know, because who needs boots when you can hit people really hard? I don't know. Dire Courier will finally respawn. And this Legion's trying to fight up this Ancient stack. She's going to need quite a few... yeah, the procs. There's one. There's a lucky one. Can Legion survive the other two Thunderhides? We will see here. Dropping fairly low. And... oh boy. Okay. Press the attack. Going to be used. And it looks like the Legion will actually be able to finish this off. But just barely. It was a little touch and go for a second there. So... not looking great. Meanwhile, top lane Pink's coming out. Do they want to go on this? Hardline is actually pretty tanky, but doesn't have the Metamorphosis. Well, not pretty tanky. Pretty tanky considering who he's fighting against. He's just going to keep on farming. There's going to be the avalanche. Can they get the toss now? There will be the toss, but it's still not that much damage. Hardline, he might actually survive this still. Lift onto the tiny. ZD's going to drop him down, and oh, there's the Sunder. Hardline hit level 6 in the middle of that fight. Now he's the one on the offensive. Another toss coming out. ZD dropping very low, down to about 38 health, but he manages to live. So, fortuitous level 6 game there, and Hardline survives that attack.
Middle tower is under attack.
No kills coming out of it, though, unfortunately. But not dying at this stage in the game has to be sort of a victory in and of itself. Speaking of victories, Luciara coming into the mid lane. They're going to initiate onto that Phantom. Ooh, there's going to be the Dragon Tail. They've got the stun up. Do they have any damage here? It doesn't really look like it. Ice Wall is just going to be put down in front of them. That's going to force everybody away as Phantom Squad survives this. Hannah Midas recipe is in his stash, so it looks like he will be buying a Midas. I believe the DK already has his. And, yep, definitely does. Februaro. Ah, that's a hard one. Already with that Hannah Midas and 800 gold, and he is at a bit of an advantage here in the mid lane. Luciara, Luciara goes AFK there, gets cold snapped up underneath the tower, and even after the cold snap, mini stuns came out, just wasn't moving. So, not 100% sure what happened there, but Luciara learns the lesson the hard way and goes down. Gives some free gold to Phantom Squad there, and I'm sure that his DK teammate does not appreciate that. Meanwhile, bottom lane, well, that explains a lot. Luciara actually disconnects from the game. Alchemist dove in past the tier 1 to try and kill off Wolf. Was not able to complete that kill, though. And now Wolf, how aggressive do you want to be? Okay, maybe not the smartest decision in the world. Let's see who wins this fight. It will be the Alchemist. There's a place for aggression, and Wolf, that was not the place. Jumps forward, hits him about one time with the mana drain, and then tries to pop ult, but Alk doesn't have that much mana in the first place. But still was left with enough to pop his own ult. The Chemical Rage gave him more than enough regen to actually win the fight. So AM goes down, and the Radiant pick up another kill. And I missed a kill in the top lane. ZD went down, and now Hardline might follow. Here comes the Morph, but oh, a nice Sunder off onto Phantom Squad. But Hardline might not be out of this just yet. He's walking himself around the tree line, and it looks like he is going to manage to escape. Actually, what is he doing? He's going the long way around. But meanwhile, Februaro has arrived. The Dragon form is ready. A level 1 Dragon Tail, just enough to keep somebody in range. It's 3 points up in Dragon Breath. This could be a kill. They could go on to Phantom Squad here. Is he going to? He wants to. Hardline went forward, and here comes the rest of the team. Dragon Breath is going to get the kill on the Phantom Squad, and now they're going to chase down the Morphling. Morphling to Strength, and that will leave the Morph without enough mana to waveform away. Do they have any means of catching? Doesn't look like they do. They're going to be forced to back away, but they pick up a kill on that Invoker. Look at that. A little bit over 700 gold is the total exchange, and now here comes Legion, but they're going to drop a sentry. They know that she's here. Dragon Tail into the lift. Going to try and run herself away now, but what has he stolen? Ooh, press the attack's been stolen. And they don't have enough damage to kill off the Legion, but they send her running. And this Legion with no boots, actually, kind of surprising that she escapes, although the move speed bonus for press the attack. There is no move speed bonus. I'm dumb. I am not a smart person. Bounty Hunter gets split, trying to go bot. Meanwhile, Legion Commander's going to jump in and get off the duel. This is not going to be a win. This isn't going to be in anything. But Februaro still fighting up here. Can he get this kill? He can indeed. Legion Commander doesn't give up any damage, but does go down in the end. Kind of feeding away a kill there. And just some questionable moves all around. Yeah, there is questionable is the perfect word, as the DK pops that question mark into the all chat. But you know, what are you gonna do? You don't. Well, I mean, he does question it, but you don't question it at the time. You take your free kill, then you question it. We could all learn from this DK. Take advantage of it and then make fun of it. See, because if you do it in reverse, then you fuck up, and then you just look like an asshole. So, meanwhile, bot lane, there's going to be another attempt at a duel here, and this one's actually going to work out. Although Legion had significantly more assistance. than she did the last time. Tiny coming in, as well as the Sunstrike from the Invoker. So, 10 damage to the Legion Commander, and will she finally buy boots? Will she do it? Will she do it? Will she do it? Yeah! Woo! You did it! You bought boots! Welcome to Dota. Meanwhile, top lane, more action going down here. DK manages to get himself away, and now he's kind of going to turn back. Dragon Tail, do they have enough damage to go through the Strength Morph? They do! Terrorblade picks up the kill. Morphling goes down. And another initiation turning against the Dire here. They are in a bit of a bad way here. Some, I don't know about questionable judgment, but probably questionable execution on some of these team fights. As the tier 1 top goes down, Luciara actually came in and smacked Phantom Squad up. Even got that track onto it, so Februaro could actually get into Dragon Tail range. He does. Can they finish this kill off? There's not enough mana for the Breathe Fire, but they can get it. DK manages to get that last hit off, and now it's a track on the Tiny. Will they follow? Hardline wanted to go for it, but then thought better of it. And Tiny manages to live, but not with a whole lot of health. He's actually out of bottle charges here as well. So, as the Radiant Creep Wave comes forward, it looks like that's going to be the end of the aggression, but only for a little brief period here. Another track has been put onto the Morphling as well. And Legion Commander, what was Alk doing? What in the world? Alchemist jumps in a little bit too far, and Legion Commander is able to pick up the kill there. I'm missing kills a lot because I'm not particularly good at this. But we're all along for the ride, right? Tiny actually tried to initiate there onto the Terrorblade, does throw out the Avalanche, doesn't follow it up. There's going to be your toss, but it's not enough. Hardline going for this fight, and ooh, manages to get the kill onto Tiny, but the Morphling comes in to finish off the fight with the Waveform. So, trading of kills there. Dire structures fortified as they attempted to save this tier 1 mid, and it will stay alive. So, traded kills across the board here as we move into the mid game. Ping's coming out. Phantom Squad, has he been spotted out here? Luciara coming in, looking for this engagement, although should see, yep, sees the Morphling nearby, although I believe Phantom Squad did just ping out the Shadow Walk being used there. So now it's the Radiant who need to be a little bit careful that they don't go too far. Going up against too much damage here. Meanwhile, bot lane, Alchemist is going to get dueled up, but he already got off the Chemical Rage. Will it be enough, though? He's still taking so much damage. Gets taken down, but doesn't give up duel damage. So Legion picks up a second kill here, and still just sitting at that 10 damage. But that kill could open the way for a push onto this tower here, although the creep wave not looking too healthy. So the aggression not really going to come out. Tiny's still going to make a good effort of it here. Punches the tower a few times before deciding to back away. Some items being built up here from the Dire. Wolf on the AM getting his Battle Fury at about 16 minutes, and it's a Blade Mail purchase for the Legion Commander. Meanwhile, the Radiant, they want to push down mid. They've committed 4 here to taking out this tier 2 mid. There is a glyph available, but are there enough people available? Deafening Blast was used. Only pushes back to 2 though, but there's going to be the Legion Commander going in, popping the Blade Mail, getting the duel off, and the rest of the team is there to follow up as they jump in. They get the kill on the Terrorblade. They lost the Legion Commander immediately afterwards, but now they're jumping onto ZD. Toss forward's going to get the kill, and Februaro is fighting alone under tower. Cold snapped up here, and he should go down. He will. Gets killed by the tower. The gold gets split 5 ways, and yeah, there it is. There's the question mark as well. It's just the taunting back and forth, but I mean, they do win the team fight. They trade the Legion Commander for 4 there. Look at that gold swing. Over 2,000 going directly to them, and I believe the Legion Commander did in fact win the duel before going down. She did. So, plus 20 damage for the Legion Commander. Now, 2 for 4, I believe, in terms of duel wins. But, got the win for the team. So, I suppose more than acceptable sacrifice if you're the Dire. Meanwhile, oh, Phantom Squad went in on the tier 1 top, draws out that glyph. Hardline TPs himself up here just to try and clean up this wave, and we'll take a look at how net worth stacks up here at 17.5 minutes, and it is the DK out in front, followed by the Alchemist. Hardline is actually a little ways down the line. I missed another kill as Legion Commander jumps in and gets another duel win off. And the toss forward, actually not really punished all that much, although they didn't have a whole lot of damage left to go in with after that jump onto the Rubik. So, interesting. But while all this is happening, the Radiant cores are still just farming up. As you can see, the DK and the Alk are still farming, and Tiny drops the Avalanche, but Luciara is in a position here. Will he actually go for this? There is no Avalanche available, so limited damage here. Dragon Tail will be used. Luciara jumping in. Does he use... Oh, tries for the Shuriken Toss, but it's only level 1. Not a whole lot of damage, and now Wolf is waiting in the wings. Will he commit to this? It looks like he won't. Avalanche again, trying to prolong this chase. Can he get away? Dragon Breath dropping him low, and there's going to be the Shuriken. It is enough. Picks up the kill. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Legion Commander gets another kill, teaming up with that Morphling for another dual win up to plus 48 now. That time I missed the kill was slightly acceptable because I managed to catch a different one. Hooray me. But, Alk traded for Tiny. Dire will pop their scan here, and unfortunately for them,
is under attack.
there's not a whole lot that they can do with this information. But, you know, I suppose you don't lose anything by not using it except for a massive cooldown, so maybe not the best. Meanwhile, Legion Commander pushes that tier 1 bot, manages to take it out. So, gonna open up the jungle there, and ZD has actually managed to steal Sunstrike here, so a decent amount of damage for him. Meanwhile, Alchemist has finished up his Radiance, so he is just gonna have crazy accelerated farm here as we go further along into this game. Meanwhile, oh no, Hardline's been caught out trying to farm up the enemy Ancient stack. He's gonna get Avalanche tossed. Gold snap up. He does actually manage to get off the Sunder though, so they can make a fight of this. They're turning on a Phantom Squad, and they're actually going to take him out. They get the Tiny as well. Double kill for Hardline. And that was just a disaster. And now they're going to go in on the Morphling as well. Waveform forward. Or back, rather. Excuse me. Not used to Morphlings running away. So,
Radiant's top tower is under
unfortunately there, the Dire, even when they catch people out of position, they can't quite finish off the kill in time. Terrorblade had just enough time in between Cold Snap procs to get off the Sunder. And him staying alive that long made enough space for the rest of the team. Februaro and ZD coming in to finish that off and get their Terrorblade to double kill. And Februaro hitting the tower here with that increased range. Will the tower actually go down? Looks like it will. Februaro gets the kill, and here comes Legion Commander, gonna pop the Blade Mail and the duel. Can she get this kill onto the DK? There's gonna be a toss there. Is there enough damage? Oh my goodness, just barely on the back end of it. So there's some more damage for the Legion. And the chase is not over just yet. Excuse me, as my camera work just was really god-awful there. Wolf is chasing ZD here. But ZD actually has stolen duel. Not sure if that's really gonna help him. Oh boy. AM pops the ult. Gets the kill. Actually, Legion gets the kill there with the overwhelming odds. But now Wolf has taken a whole lot of damage here. Has been completely drained of his mana. And now Luciara trying to get this kill. Doesn't look like it's actually going to work out. In the meantime, Hardline is being chased up here in the woods. And Legion going to get tossed forward, dealing as much damage as possible. Overwhelming odds, but it's still not enough. There's going to be the Thunder from Hardline. And he's going to try and go in on this. Pops the Manta as well. Gets the kill onto the Legion Commander. And now Tiny's in trouble. Going to get hit up by the Concoction there. And Terrorblade gets another double kill. So, 2 double kills in a row there in back-to-back fights. And, yeah, fight recap. Unfortunately, doesn't have the DK death here, so that number will be slightly lower. But, over 1,000 gold going the way of the Radiant in this one. We'll take a look at the graphs for the first time at nearly 22 minutes. Experience earned definitely in the Dire's favor here, over 5k advantage for them. We will see if there's a similar story for net worth. And net worth is actually fairly even here. Just the tiniest little sliver over onto the Dire side at the 22-minute mark. So we'll see if they can stretch that advantage out a little bit. Looks like there's going to be a fight in top lane here. Concoction goes down onto Wolf on the AM. He's going to blink himself away. Deafening Blast from Phantom Squad. Just going to clear out a little bit of space. And it looks like that'll be the end of the fight. Wolf was in a decent amount of danger there, but did not have enough lockdown to kill him off. And he's going to go right back to farming here. And he's going to have to farm himself up a storm here, about 1,000 gold behind the cores for the Radiant. And he's still hanging around. He is tracked, and here we go. Alchemist going in here. Unstable concoction. Will he actually be able to get it off? No, he's going to self-stun. The blink away got him out of range. And he gets a couple of last hits with the Radiance even as he's stunned up. Meanwhile, ZD has the Invis rune. He's moving into position. Los Yara's there as well. 2 Invis heroes just hanging out. But the initiation is actually going to go on to the west of them. They're going to go on this Alchemist. They pick up the kill. ZD trying to do something to save his teammate, but he might have just signed his own death warrant there. Or not. He steals AM's blink and gets himself away, and now it's Los Yara who's trying to run himself away. There is no detection here for the Dire, so unfortunately they can't really spot anything out here, and Los Yara is going to just run himself away. Meanwhile, bot lane, there has been another duel. Hardline dropping low. He does go down, and it's another duel win for the Legion Commander. Was not able to get the Sunder off in time. And this Legion Commander, despite a pretty rough start, has been making a bit of a comeback here. 7 kills, 3 deaths, 6 assists, and 90 duel damage here at about 24 minutes. So, picking the right fights now. That Shadow Blade, Blade Mail combo serving her well, in addition to having some teammates in position. Those first couple of duels were essentially solo duels. Did not go in her favor. Meanwhile, Wolf pushing tier 2 top. There is going to be a TP in here from ZD, but not a whole lot he can do. He actually blinks forward after the AM. Not sure if this is a fight that you want to take, buddy. And he backs himself away here, and now it's going to be farm time for the Alchemist. Well, I mean, every time is farm time for the Alchemist, but this one's going to be a special farm time. You know, emphasized farm time. It's not your average everyday farm time. And ooh, Wolf wants to go in on this little group here, but Los Yara is pinging it out. Has spotted them. And it looks like everyone's just going to back away rather than engage. Or are they? Morphling. ZD jumps in and manages to pop the Lincolns, but will he actually pay for it with his life? He's dropping very low. The Sunstrike actually misses on him, and he does survive for now. Meanwhile, there was a fight in the bottom lane. DK gets taken out by the Legion Commander. ZD blinking himself back. There's going to be the ult, but it's not enough. Tornado might come in to finish him, though, and it will indeed. Invoker gets the kill, but now Hardline has arrived. Drops the slow into Phantom, but it doesn't last very long, and Hardline's just going to run himself forward. He does have the track bonus speed. Gets briefly slowed up here, but he's still fighting up. He's going to pop the Metamorphosis as well as the Mana Style, but meanwhile on the backline, Wolf tried to go in here, and he very nearly lost his life. Blinks himself away. Going to try and TP out. He will escape, but now it's the rest of the Dire who are on the run. But Legion Commander is going to show up to this fight. Picks the right Terror Blade, but the Sunder does go off, but it's not nearly enough. Still goes down to the Avalanche Toss combo. Terror Blade goes down. It's 3 dead across the map here for the Radiant, and the Dire taking the team fight that they needed, and it might not be over just yet. Okay, never mind. It's over. Bounty Hunter wisely runs himself away as the Legion Commander had that duel back up. That duel win was a factor as well in the kill on the DK in bottom lane that you didn't see because I didn't catch it. You know, bit of a running theme here with me not catching kills. But the Dire are actually starting to pull this back in their favor, not just in the kill count, but in the net worth. In just a second that I will show you, there's going to be the duel under Los Yara, Sunstrike as well, and the lift from ZD is actually going to buy a lot of time, but it wasn't enough time. Legion Commander gets another duel win, plus 1-2-2. I don't know why I pronounced that so weird, but now Legion's going to get initiated on the Dragon Tail into the Concoction, into a whole lot of damage from the DK, and now they're chasing after Tiny. Can they catch this Tiny? He is going to get slowed up by the basic attacks there from Februaro. Avalanche actually lands on 2, but not onto the Alchemist. The toss actually buys a little bit of time, but here comes the unstable concoction. It is going to stun him up, and he's just going to buy out as much as he can before he goes down. Alchemist picks up a kill there, and Legion Commander gets her duel win, but pays for it with her life and the life of her teammate. Not the best trade ever. A little bit of dual damage for 2 kills on 2 of your cores. Then again, the Dire have nothing but cores because they picked 5 carry players. But, you know, I mean, bleh. That's sort of the issue here. Every team fight that you lose costs you just a little bit more because you don't really have low net worth people. Oh, Wolf gonna kill off the courier there, but he might have just walked himself into a trap. Gonna get lifted up, Dragon Tail, and there's gonna be the duel from Rubik. A stolen duel keeps Wolf in place. Oh my goodness, and Rubik has plus 18 damage. Here we go. Carry Rubik. The snowball starts here. Part of me really hopes that that's what this replay is. That it's just another like 20 to 30 minutes of Rubik like winning as many duels as possible and just being a carry. Oh, that would be so sweet. Probably won't be though because we live in reality. But speaking of duels, here comes Legion Commander. Duel onto La Ciara, and that's an easy one. Legion gets another kill, gets 322 gold. The memes coming out even in the scoreboard. And plus 140 damage, and even has that Desolator now for added damage. Tiny clearing out the waves here. He's got his Ags up as well, so he's got that big old tree branch, and that is not an innuendo, that's an actual tree branch. So, some more damage out of him as well. The Radiant, they do need to be careful because despite all of this damage they have on the Alk as well as the Terrorblade, they're not the tankiest team in the world here. DK is about as close as they get. There's going to be Legion coming forward. Doesn't have a duel, but this might still be an initiation. Tornado's going to land on the Alk and the DK, and they're going to go forward. The unstable, not the unstable. Chemical Raid got popped, but it wasn't enough. February trying to fight up, but he was hitting a Blade Mail there, killing himself off. Hardline has arrived to clean up the backlines, but he doesn't kill anybody. The Delta Split comes through. Gonna get stunned up. Avalanche as well. Can he get this Sunder off? No, he cannot. The toss throws him up there before he can activate it, and he goes down. Meanwhile, La Ciara tries to go on Phantom Squad, but that's still just a level 1 Shuriken toss. The Janata as well. One more hit. There it is. La Ciara manages to get himself a kill. And meanwhile, Rubik, another stolen duel. Can he win another one? No, he can't. Oh, no. Hands over damage to Tiny. La Ciara manages to pick up that kill, but this might have cost him his life. No, manages to get himself away. And even, oh, the overwhelming odds, just a little bit off. Just a little bit off. And La Ciara goes in there and gets a couple of kills. Kind of sacrifices the entirety of his team to get it. But, worth it? Yeah, let's say that it was worth it. Because, you know, because we said so. Meanwhile, Wolf is just going to start hitting this tier 2 tower, and yeah, nobody's alive yet to contest it. So, a little bit of free damage here. And blinks away before the Radiant team can actually show up. They will clear out that wave, so just a little bit of damage, about 400 or so. But, you know, deal whatever chip damage that you can. You never know when it might make a difference. Alchemist gonna take a little bit of time here. Meanwhile, there is another duel. Legion Commander going in on Hardline, gets the win. Hardline goes down, and it's plus 158 for this Legion Commander. DK has finished up a Mjolnir here, and it looks like that is what the Legion is working on as well. Currently working towards it. And Phantom Squad hanging out here, gonna get tracked up by La Ciara, but no initiation aside from that. Just the Bounty Hunter and ZD on the Rubik here, so it wasn't a whole lot of kill potential in that scenario. But 31 minutes in, let's look at the graphs again. Yeah, because they've changed significantly. The Dire have definitely managed to take an advantage here, and I'll cancel that as we go into a team fight. Februaro is going to try and fight this up, manages to lose all of his mana to the EMP, but they're going on Phantom Squad here, trying to Ghost Walk away, but he was actually tracked up there. There's going to be the disarm as well, and La Ciara actually has to run himself away. The Meteor is going to deal a decent amount of damage, but is it enough? ZD steals Meteor, throws it forward, not going to connect at anything, but Tiny has jumped in on the back line here, trying to go down. Meanwhile, Wolf, oh my goodness, goes in, picks off the 2 supports, and now he's working onto the DK. Here comes the Alchemist, though, going to stun him up, but it wasn't enough to save him. Now Alk has to run away as fast as possible, or does he? Hardline has arrived, going to get stunned up by the Avalanche, kept up in the air by Tornado. Jesus, he is being controlled so hard here. He even used the Metamorphosis there, but wasn't able to get any attacks off. And both he and the Alchemist are forced to run as they lose 3 and don't get any kills in exchange. A bit of a disorganized fight. Alchemist. Oh, uh-oh. Here comes the duel. Duely, duely, duel. There's another one. Alk gonna go down so easily there. Plus 176 for this Legion Commander. So much Russian going on. Seriously, I really wish that I spoke Russian or read Russian. But I don't. Sorry. My bad. But I'm sure that that is a very interesting conversation that they are having. Meanwhile, the Dire are just gonna slam into this tier 2 top lane, and with all this damage, yeah, it's not long for this world. And while this is going on, Hardline in a bit of an awkward position here. He's even going to lose the Metamorphosis. What is he doing? He's just going to try to hit the Legion. And somehow that works. Somehow the Legion Commander runs away. But, ooh, yeah, Anti-Mage doesn't want to run away at all. Going in, even pops his Manta, and that's not a kill that he can get, so he will be forced to back off. Meanwhile, the tier 2 mid going down as well, so there are no outer towers remaining here for the Radiant. And, the Radiant are in a strange position. We were looking at the experience graph earlier when that team fight broke out. We will take a look at the net worth now. And that is a 10k net worth lead here at 33 minutes. And the track on the Legion Commander means that she's not going to be able to go for a target. Or is she going to get dropped back in the middle of them all? And she will go down. DK gets the kill. Tornado's going to land onto about 2 of them. Invoker trying to Ghostwalk away, but he is tracked. Meanwhile, Losiara's running after this Tiny. Manages to get the kill. EMP draining the mana out of Februaro, but they're still looking for targets here. The Lincolns will be popped on the Morphling. Losiara charging forward, and looks like gonna back away here, but Februaro has arrived. They have a decent amount of damage here, but there's gonna be the Replicate away. Manages to survive. Meanwhile, Wolf was trying to hit this tier 3 in the bottom lane. Didn't actually manage to do all that much damage to it. And he's going to try and scurry away, but his exact location has been pinged out here. Can they actually catch up to him, though? He's TPing himself home, and it looks like there won't be any interruption. So the AM manages to escape there. Bit of a weird fight there. Doesn't really go the Dire's way. The AM broke off about halfway through it to try and hit this tower, and did about 50 damage to it. So, not 100% sure on the decision-making process there, but we will see the Alchemist. Is this a Desolator he's building? Oh boy. Deso on Alp. So, he will have a pretty fair amount of damage here. Yep, there it is. Although not nearly as much as the Legion Commander, but, you know, very few people have as much as the Legion at this point in the game. I believe it's 176. That is correct. And as the Alchemist is trying to push out the bottom lane, Dire are actually just going to go for the Roshan here. And the question of all questions is, on this team of 5 carries, who's going to take the Aegis? Will there be a fight for it? Losiara is actually hanging out around the pit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes! It happened. Losiara gets the last hit on Roche and the Aegis, and now a team fight breaking out. Februaro jumping in here, trying to deal as much damage. The Aegis does get popped there. Tornado EMP is going to connect, but there's been so much damage dealt already that the Dire can't take this fight. They lose the Legion Commander, and they might lose the Morphling here as well. They will, and now they're turning onto the Tiny. Tiny, another one goes down. They even lose Phantom Squad, and the only survivor is the AM, who blinked himself out of there. So, I think that was just about the worst Roche attempt I've ever seen ever in Dota. The Dire don't get the kill, don't get the Aegis, and then proceed to lose 4 heroes. The only thing that could have made that worse is if the bounty had actually just not died at all and kept the Aegis. But Losiara making a pretty heads-up play there. Snatches the Aegis, and actually doesn't snatch the Aegis technically because he got the last hit onto Roshan. So takes the Aegis that is rightfully his. And now the Dire are in a bit of trouble. No heroes really up to defend this aside from Wolf, who can't really fight up against 5 by himself. There is a buyback on the Morphling, but they're going to opt not to use it, and the Radiant are just going straight for the game here. One tier 4 will go down, the other tier 4 will soon follow, and AM's got to do something here. He's got to make an attempt at it, and what can he even do? He's going to drop the Abyssal Stun onto Losiara. There's going to be your Avalanche Toss combo, but it's just not enough damage, and there's nothing they can do. This game is going to be over in just a matter of moments. Or is it? Tornado EMP does connect. Dire don't have Glyph, though. They're trying to buy as much time as possible. There's going to be the duel. It does go down. They get the win. They've killed off 2, 3, 4, and a buyback on the Bounty Hunter, so they hold. They somehow hold. Despite everything that I know about anything, the Dire hold. They get 4 kills, and they draw out the buyback from the Bounty Hunter, with their Ancient having just under 500 health. Meanwhile, Alchemist here, running himself away. The Morph is just kind of trailing behind him, taking Radiance damage here. And here comes the rest of the team. Unstable Concoction's going to get put forward, but the Abyssal Blade stun, will it actually keep him from popping it? And, well, it doesn't really matter. It does go off. It does stun too, but there's more than enough damage from outside sources to finish off the kill as Alchemist goes down. And now the Dire are in a position where they might be able to take a lane of Rax here. Probably not much more than that, even if they can even get that. We'll see here. They've got to be fairly quick about this push. They are going to go for the tier 3 here, and it will go down fairly quickly. There's going to be the fortification coming out from the Radiant, trying to buy some time here. Terrorblade is up. DK will be back up in about 5 seconds, but they will be taking this fight without an Alchemist if they choose to go for it. Hardline maneuvering himself to the front, but chooses not to go in. And it looks like the Dire are going to try and play this safe. They're going to go for a second lane of Rax here instead of trying to push into tier 4s. Tiny's been lifted up. He's taking so much damage from the Metamorphosis Illusions. He does get taken out. Tiny is down, and now it's Legion Commander taking a lot of damage as well. She will manage to get herself away. Wolf jumped in there, but couldn't really do a whole lot. And what is this duel? She is not going to win that. Februaro gets the kill and the damage, and they picked off Phantom Squad as well. Now it's Morphling trying to run himself away. Force Staff onto Losiara, and they will pop the Lincolns. That will get the lift available. Animage jumped in with the Abyssal, but he only used it on ZD. Morphling manages to TP away, though, in the confusion. And now the chase is on for the AM. Blink up in 1 second, and will be able to blink himself away. Grabs himself a Regen Rune as well, so it looks like he will escape for now. But look at that swing. Nearly 4k gold going straight to the Radiant. And, the Dire kind of blow it there. They wait around a little bit longer than they really needed to. They only get the ranged Rax, not the melee in the bottom lane. So that melee Rax will actually heal up. And here comes Wolf. Blinks himself forward. Losiara not really paying a whole lot of attention to him, though. And it will be a completed BKB from Wolf. But that will mean that there will be no buyback. Speaking of buybacks, Phantom Squad will buy back. And looks like they want to take this fight. The BKB AM could play a significant factor. Blink Ward from ZD actually lifts up the AM, but it's going to cost him his life. Gets picked off by the Anti-Mage. Meteor's going to fly through, dealing so much damage. Deafening Blast as well. They're taking way too much damage here. They're going to lose the Alchemist. They'll lose the Terrorblade as well. No Sunder going off. The Courier's just flying into the base. Gets taken out as well. And this whole thing was a bit of a distraction. Losiara ran all the way through to try and kill the Ancient, but unable to do any significant damage and does get taken out, so it's 4 dead. Februaro stopping to farm a creep camp. What in the world are you doing? Gonna get Abyssal stun, losing so much mana here. There's gonna be the E-Blade as well. Pops the Dragon Form, gonna try and fight his way out of this. Can he actually survive? It doesn't look like he will. There's gonna be your Avalanche flying through at the last moment, and he is dead. It's a buyback from ZD. That's the only buyback that they have available. Phantom Squad, meanwhile, just completely collapsed in this top lane, and ZD can't really do anything here. He's gonna get hit up by that tornado. He just, I don't know. He doesn't have anything to defend with. There's no buybacks. He's alone. Top racks will go down, and they can finish off the bottom racks with really no defense. Wait, it's just gonna go down. This is not good. ZD trying his best. He is actually going to pull the creep wave and actually lifts up AM, keeps him in the fountain, but not enough to kill him. And now the tier 4s, they're going to get sieged up. Hardline has respawned, as has the Alchemist. Can they make an offense of this? Can they pull off a miracle defense of their own? Jump in from Al. Is he actually going to get the concoction off? He does. Legion Commander dropping very low, but a very nice tornado catches a lot of them. The Legion Commander is dead. Phantom Squad may soon follow. He goes down as well. Hardline BKB'd up, running himself through this fight, not giving a damn about all the spells. Morphling jumps in, tries to shotgun down that Rubik, but not able to get the kill, and now Morphling's in a bit of trouble. Doesn't have his waveform, gonna get hit by the concoction. It does pop the Lincoln Sphere though. He has waveform up in 2 seconds. Will he escape? Or, well, it doesn't really have to. The Radiant give up the chase, but they have been raxed. No racks remaining. They are gonna go up against Mega Creeps. Where are they? There they are. Look at those things. They're big and armored, and they hurt. So, the Radiant, how are they going to respond to this? Is this just going to be picking up a bunch of maelstroms, as we see some squads do when trying to combat Mega Creeps? Looks like they're just going to try to push this out. Februaro has had that Mjolnir for pretty much like 3/4 of the game, so he's already going to be able to deal with these creep waves fairly effectively. the Alchemist as well with the Radiance in a position to hold back those waves. Speaking of those waves, though, one pushing into base, hard line here, just gonna do as much as he can to defend it. And what is the play here? They draw the line around the base, just trying to play defensive here. As Wolf, he is hanging out a little bit far forward, but he is fairly confident between the Manta style and the BKB that he will be able to dodge any initiation that is thrown at him. Meanwhile, Phantom Squad gets himself a Scythe of Eyes here, so even more control for the Dire as they try to finish this game off. Their Ancient still healing up after its brush with death there. Meanwhile, they've caught Wolf, lifted him up. Do they have any follow-up? He is actually going to pop the BKB. Can he go for kills here? And he's kind of waffling between targets there, and eventually just backed himself away. So, the Radiant pull out a free BKB charge. That was the 9-second charge, so you never know. These things might just matter. That 1 second being used up on a pretty insignificant engagement there. But not sure what's going on here. A lot of the Dire are just kind of hanging out in their base, which is strange. I think they're waiting for the Radiant to come to them, but the Radiant are dealing with Mega Creeps. They're not going to go anywhere for a good long while here, unless they go for some sort of like kamikaze for the Ancient, which might work. Actually, this tier 4 has 22 health. That will not work. I think Mega Creeps will just push down the lane and kill their Ancient before they could win a fight and kill the Dire Ancient. Or maybe they just wouldn't go for trying to win a fight at all. Try that old TP boots onto like a dominated creep or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I thought this game was going to be over like 10 minutes ago when they pushed into the Dire base the first time. But the Dire held, and now they have Mega Creeps, and now I don't really know. The Dire aren't really expressing any desire to push in and try and end this game. And, you know, the Radiant are still technically farming. It's Mega Creeps, but you're giving them a whole lot of time, and will they go in here? Nope. Legion Commander, unable to initiate, doesn't have the blink. So, no dual initiation there. And that was the Blade Mail activated as well, though it's pretty much already, back up. There we go, 3 seconds. So, not really a significant cooldown to consider, but at least the Radiant sort of dodged the bullet on engaging outside of the base. Although, at this point, when they have really no buildings aside from huts inside the base, there really isn't much of a benefit to engaging anywhere. What? Los Yara dropping the track onto Legion Commander. What is Legion doing? Gonna get initiated on while the rest of her team is going for Roshan. She gets picked off so easily. What in the world just happened? Legion. Did she think she could bait? I mean, she was tracked up the whole time. They knew what she was doing. Gets picked off. A free kill. Look at that. 1,894 gold going to the Radiant there. But, Radiant, are you aware of the fact that they just took Roche? Because you're hanging your butts out way too far. Yeah, manages to get themselves back. Februaro gets caught with the tail end of that tornado there. But, not enough to actually take him down. Wolf taking a lot of damage from this Dragon Form DK though, and there's going to be the lift. EMP dropped, so the DK will lose all of his mana, but now they're jumping onto this Morphling. Morphling dropping low. It's going to go down. That is just the Aegis though. Meteor drops on 4, and Morphling respawns. Lincoln has been popped. So much damage goes down immediately. Phantom Squad will soon follow, and now they're chasing after this Tiny, or are they? The Ice Wall is just keeping them so freaking slow. Meanwhile, Wolf, he went for some backdoor play here. That's the second time that he's done that, and the same result. It just doesn't work. He blinks himself away, but now he's going to take an Unstable Concoction. He does have the blink available, so this shouldn't be a kill. Oh, okay. Well, I was wrong. It will be a kill, just not the one I was expecting. Tiny blinks himself in, gets the Avalanche Toss, and he even has a Moon Shard here, so all the damage that he deals. Holy shit. The Alchemist goes down. He does have buyback, though, and now it's the Radiant who need to defend their base. This is not looking good. Hardline is BKB'd for, I don't know what reason, but he was BKB'd. trying to hold off this creep wave. Februaro doing the same here with his Mjolnir procs. So the Radiant hold on. They hold on. They take a very good fight here. Oh, now the Mega Creeps are starting to get some hits onto their tower. Not tower, Ancient. Excuse me, sorry. Taking a lot of damage, but they are still holding here. Now, is this the point at which rapiers are bought? Because if you're the Dire, you held your base, you pushed in to the enemy base, you lost. You did get, well, not lost. You took Mega Creeps and then lost like 3 people. And then you go for a Roshan attempt, you get the Aegis, you push in, and you lose. So now, I don't know, what is that play? What is the item? AM does finish up a Butterfly, so that might play a big role there. But the thing about the Radiant is that they actually have a decent amount of AoE damage, you know? Februaro has the Dragon Form splash damage as well as the Mjolnir. They've got Terrorblade with all of his illusions, all capable of hitting as many targets as possible. The Alk here with the Acid Spray on top of that Radiance damage, so they can just take a whole lot of damage from basically half of the Radiant team here. So I don't know how much the evasion is really going to play a role. I suppose we'll actually just have to see to find out. But I think they could really do with a Blink Dagger on this Legion Commander instead of the Shadow Blade now at 49 minutes. But they're going to go for it. There's going to be the duel. Actually, no duel. She gets Dragon Tail first, and she's actually going to go down. Legion is dead. Wolf, meanwhile, pops the ult, but doesn't manage to get a kill. I think he ulted an illusion. Meteor to fly here, dealing a lot of damage, but Phantom Squad goes down instead. Morphling dead as well, and now it's Wolf on the run. And that's what I mean. There's just too much AoE damage here out of the Radiant. There's nothing that the Dire can do when they clump up the way that they did. They really have to try and draw the fight out, space it out, go on individual targets that they can pick off. Instead, the Legion just jumps in. This is another one of the reasons why I said you really do need the Blink Dagger, because that Shadow Blade, that was spotted out the whole way through. And boy oh boy. Yeah. With the amount of detection that is available here from the Radiant, the Shadow Blade really not doing a whole lot of good. At this point, I don't even think upgrading it to a Silver Edge would be all that useful. Uh-oh. Radiant, they're going for the game here. Pushing in, Invoker's going to buy back. Morphling has a buyback as well. Will he use it? He's going to have to. Tiny goes down. There's going to be the Morphling buyback. Phantom Squad gets the Deafening Blast stolen and used on himself. Yule's up in the air. Can he survive this? He's actually going to try and run away. Morphling has jumped in, but he is taking so much damage as well. The Mjolnir procs actually kill off Phantom Squad. Kills off the Morphling. Wolf has arrived here, but how much damage can he do? Not enough! Holy crap! A game of throws is what it was. The Radiant take the win in a game that you kind of just had to see to believe. Wow. You know, it's like you just gotta see it. Because I don't know what the hell just happened. The Radiant had won the game, and then they all get wiped, and then the Dire all get wiped, and then the Dire don't push. And then push and get wiped again, and it's... You gotta love Dota. Holy shit. So, that game was just as interesting as it was made out to be. Again, that replay came from r/Dota2Castit, all one word, I believe, in the subreddit title. So if you're looking for matches, pretty interesting ones. There's a whole lot of them posted up on there. That is where I got this one from. That's where I'm probably going to be grabbing a bunch of other replays for the sake of practicing up the casts. Speaking of practicing the cast, this was a practice cast for me. I will be uploading this, so if you see this, my voice, Jesus, sorry. If you see this up on YouTube, then feel free to give me any feedback or criticism about anything, really. Me missing kills, me not knowing a whole bunch of shit, or just if you just generally don't like the sound of my voice, which unfortunately there's nothing that I can really do about that, but it would be nice to hear the feedback anyway. So, Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I could make some sense out of that whole, just slaughter back and forth. The Radiant take the win, 50 minutes, 46 seconds, a kill score of 40 to 43. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the cast, and I will see you next time for the next game. Hopefully it's just as exciting as this one was. So, thank you, and goodbye.